Hey, I just happened to notice on that new one that took my title of the stream off there halfway through. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Awesome. Gene Diggs history. Uh, okay. So, what was I going to say? Sorry, somebody just messaged me. I want to know how y'all's weekends was. I should say hi to you first, right? Let me just share this real quick. And then I'll tell you about my weekend. And then I'll say hi to you. Sorry about the distraction there. Just happened to be at the same exact time. First woman was Ohio Metal Maven. She said, see you in a bit. My little buddy Aiden Berridge was here. He'll be back. Alice Wonderland, Gary Garvine, Hometown History Hunter, Finding Goodies 2, Tracy, Gene Diggs History, Mark the Berg, Alley Cat Treasures, Tim, You Rock, Main Dirt Sweepas. I think I said Patty Dish Room, but I'll say it again. Who else we got? Backbreaking Metal Detecting. Shannon Dalton, hello, cuz. Coin Ranger, how you doing tonight? Fox in the Ground. Jeff's Obsessions. Saw him for about 30 seconds and then I didn't see him again all weekend. Well, a little bit here and there, but pretty much didn't see him again. Same with Fox on the Ground. Um, so I did share this on the Digstock Talk page, this link for this tonight. And I'm hoping some of them come in. Um, I hope you guys had a good weekend. Jeff's Obsessions, Fox on the Ground, Main Dirt Sweepas. We're all at Digstock this weekend. If I missed anybody, Jean Diggs History was there as well. She hung out with me the majority of the time. And Gary Garvine was there this weekend too. So I'm going to start off, even though there aren't a lot of people in here yet. And hopefully, some of the little people who felt very brave. Hey, Mason Merck, to bash the event behind a keyboard and a screen, though your name is there. But people feel a little brave when it's not, when there's no one to rebuke it live at the time. But I'm pretty sure I could speak for Jeff's Obsessions and Main Dirt Sweepas and Fox on the Ground and Gene Diggs History and the others that were there that we had a good time. So what I'm going to start off with, now I've said this before in the past, Luterate, what's up? Dirt Clod, how you doing? I've said this many times in the past before. When speaking about organized events, whether big or small, whether it's a seated hunt or a natural hunt, the easiest way to avoid disappointment, Susan Toker, how are you? Is to go there. What is it? There's an expression. Hope for the best, expect the worst. You're never disappointed that way. There were a lot of people disappointed with this event, but of the 750 plus people that were there, it's actually not that large an amount. There were people upset because the night hunt went off a little early. Um, There were people upset because they didn't find things, and there were people upset because of the way the prizes were run and they didn't get one. You're going to get that. Disappointment is a genuine emotion, and you're going to get that. You're going to get people that just can't handle the disappointment. Hey, DB, I don't know what they were expecting. Look, Gary's here. Gary went into this event. Now, I'm not speaking for him, but from what I've seen from the way he was there. What's up, nailed it, Chad? Hashtag Team PG5 for life. Gary was very excited to be there. He got to hang out with some people he admired and watched on YouTube for some change, and for some time. And we ran into him in the field at one point. It was a group of us, and we ran into Gary, and he was sort of disappointed, sort of wasn't disappointed. He was disappointed he wasn't like swinging over all the things everybody else is claiming they have found. But he found some big iron. And as most of us know, that big iron gives off a good sound when you start digging it. But he was happy to be digging in land and in property he wouldn't have normally been digging in. And, an opportunity to try some different dirt than from where he's at. And he socialized a lot. So when you go to an event, no matter if it's seated or not, and I've been to quite a few. I've been to seated hunts. I've been to seated hunts where I cleaned house. Like it just so happened I was lucky enough to clean house. And I've been to seated hunts where I didn't find really anything. What's up, Ken? Um, and that happens. And the seated portion of it, there was a lot of weepiness over that. And part of it was it did go off a bit early, but I did see a comment where they said, "Why didn't you hire more food trucks?" Well, you actually don't hire the food trucks. Um, you advertise to have them come there and make some money, but you don't hire them per se. Uh, and the food trucks had agreed to be there certain times, and I think there was 4 the first day, but and a couple of them had run out of food, and that's not gonna happen. There's 700 people. These food trucks are not massive. They're not restaurants with a huge cooler in the back and a huge freezer. So they ran out because there was a lot of hungry people. And hey, Tracy. And so there was that comment, and but the one comment, most of the comments actually came. I guess half of them probably were about the seeded portion of it. First of all, any hunt I've been to that had a seeded with it, you paid for the seeded. This one, you didn't pay for it. Second, on any seeded hunt, you're not guaranteed to find tokens. You're not guaranteed to find silvers. You're not guaranteed anything. You're just guaranteed you'll find something because, I mean, they're spreading a bunch of stuff out there. You're going to find something. But you're not guaranteed the big tokens. You're not guaranteed. Well, I came with food, so I'm not a food truck. I mean, I like them, but I wasn't going to depend on them. Anybody who detects probably should pack a lunch anyway, but that's just me. There were 4 food trucks out there for the first day with the meet and greet. And, everybody has different tastes. 2 of them, I'm pretty sure 3 were still there pretty late. 2 stayed till about 6, I think, if I remember right. But yeah, they ran out of food, and that's going to happen. What's up, Jim Steele? So the seeded portion of it, really, even when you pay for a seeded hunt, you're not really guaranteed that you're going to find a token. With the natural aspect of it, I did see the guys as guests on other streams and podcasts, and they never once promised anybody that they would find these awesome, spectacular things. They promised them the potential too. And there's a huge difference in that. They did do a lot of research. I claim to be seasoned detectives. You should do a little deep research on your own as well, a little recon yourself. To study the maps that they gave you and to focus your attention on the areas, so you should have done a little recon yourself. I did not. I did not. I just went wherever. But you should do. That's partly on you. Now these 7,000 acres and over 700 people. That is a lot. I should probably have my Facebook comments on. That is a lot of people, and that's a lot of acreage per person. I did go to some fields where there was nobody in them. I bet he did have a lot of. I mean, I hung out with Hercules for a few moments, but never did get my picture with him. I told Jericho that before at the last day, but he disappeared. And these are my opinions, but these are also my observations, by the way. Just, I mean, it's open for discussion. Anybody who's been there, I'll actually put the link in the chat. If you've been to one, if you've been to a Digstock, if you've been to any, I'm going to pin it to the top too. So if you want to come up and talk about it. So there were some pretty / not tonight. Not tonight. Go. Go. Hang on a second. Sorry, folks. Anyway, now that my dog messed everything up. Go. Lay down. Lay down. So if you want to come up and talk about it or whatever, there's the link there. Anyway, so hey Ed, hashtag Team Team G. Yeah, okay, I can't talk tonight. Team PG5. What's up, Clark's Cove? Digging in the North. This was your fourth one. It was my fourth one as well. I didn't go to the last one in the fall. So I did see. I pay attention to a lot. I'm probably more on Facebook than I am on YouTube sometimes, but so some things we humans, as a people, do is when we've had a good time, we might mention it. But if we're upset, if we're disappointed in something, we're gonna blast it all over the place, thanks to the internet and the safety of your screen. / ain't about the live. So I saw a lot of the remarks and a lot of the thing. On the Digstock talk page, it was definitely more in favor than against. More people had fun than against. And then I saw a comment from another person that says that this was akin to being like a carnival type atmosphere, and because we're all newbies and not seasoned detectorists like him. So to that, I gotta say, there were plenty of pretty seasoned people out there, out in those fields, and so many haters though. Exactly, Fox and Ground. That's actually, normally I have you guys lead the conversation, because that's what we're having as a conversation. Yeah, that's right. Many seasoned people were there. Carnival atmosphere? No. I guess they would feel that way because they saw the big tent, some food trucks, and a couple of fun games like cornhole. So people also got to keep in mind, BC Treasure Trails, what's up, is this event with that many people there was put on by 3 guys and their small team. Yeah, they said it was a carnival. If that's what Digstock is looking for, to be a carnival type atmosphere. The first day, Thursday, was because people were coming in from all over. It wouldn't be fair to open up the hunt and have some people that weren't going to be able to make it till Thursday night or even Friday morning. So Thursday was the meet and greet, getting registered, going around to the vendors' tents because they're there too. And, Friday and Saturday, and you didn't really see many people around the vendor tents, and some of them weren't there either. Mind Lab was, and Nocta was, but XP was off and on. But these guys are there to have fun too. You can't tell them they can't have fun. So when you go to an event like this is my suggestion. This is how I go. I hope for the best. I expect the worst. So I hope to find things, but I expect I probably won't. What's up, Mike? Yeah, that's right, Mike. But that wasn't just it. It was just people who just didn't swing over stuff, you know? And they felt it was too big. I don't know how. I don't know how they felt it was too big. 7,000 acres and 750 people. You do the math. Were there spots where everybody congregated? Sure. Um, but I got to give kudos to the Digstock guys and their team because they wrangled 750 plus people all weekend. Because yeah, there were people who didn't follow the rules on where to park or where they could hunt. There were people that um there were quite a few that had to be asked to leave. Hey Stephen Binder, see you on Facebook. I have to check every now and then. Jericho got a giant train wheel or something, man. I saw that thing. That was huge. Exactly, cuz. And like I said to many of those people, I said, for the ones that were crying, um, when you get a new permission, hey Stacy R, um, you're not guaranteed to find stuff. And you weren't guaranteed to find bucket listers, Civil War buckets and belt plates you weren't promised any of that. You were promised 7,000 fields with the potential to find really awesome stuff. And you know who had the ones who weren't complaining at all were the ones that were looking for native artifacts. A lot of whom who have never done that. So, I mean, the link is up there. Any of you that went and you want to talk about it, it's up there. It's pinned to the top if you want to come up and talk about it. So, I'll tell you my my point of view. So I got there early Thursday morning because I had volunteered to help out because I knew, that they were down a few people. Oh, we got Practical Ken up here. Hey, Ken, I caught you when you were drinking.
Caught me drinking.
Yeah. So, did you have a good time, Ken?
Yeah, actually, I had a good time. I kind of go for the environment. Uh, People thinking the same and wanting to mentally test the excitement. It's kind of like leading up to like a music festival, I guess. When you get that impending excitement, you don't know what the next day's what's gonna happen the next day. And with them dropping the info about the location just a couple days before the event, a lot of scrambling of doing research. And there are houses on those properties uh, that are not listed. So you do additional research, you can find the spots that people aren't congregating at too. You just have to put in the time. So
Exactly. I mean, it may feel to people that there wasn't that much time. I think they released the maps Monday, but the event was Thursday. Started Thursday,
mhm,
and you got to start detecting Friday. So you had time to even just do a little recon, get a general
absolutely.
idea of what was going on. Uh, it is the South. They were sharecropper. Most of those was sharecropper homes, but that doesn't mean they were dirt poor. They just didn't have a lot.
Well, anytime they pulled money out of their pocket, there was always a chance of something falling out. So anytime they change their
Exactly.
clothes, there's always a chance of something falling out. Their laundry line, drying their clothes, buttons fall off. Uh, so anything's possible. And people seem to go right to where the house sites were, but over years, the tractors and plows are dragging that across the field. So sometimes it's best not to go to the obvious spots with expectations. Go on the outskirts and see what's dragged around. You know, you'll see brick scattered all over the property, but brick was only in one spot when the house was there. So They could be anywhere in the
Yeah,
field.
I think one of the people were like, I know how to find home sites, and you look for this and that, and those fields have none of that. I was like, I don't know. I was in one of the fields where there was no home sites, and I found brick and some pottery, and
Not
so
all
I
the home
mean,
sites were listed.
yeah, they were,
Uh,
and there were a few that were just, Dr. Mayo's house was just not worth going to because that
there
wasn't a
was
proper.
lots of targets there. I mean,
Yeah, but it was.
was there lack of targets? No, there was lots of targets there. You just had to filter through some of the garbage that was there too. And that's
Yeah,
where that
Dr. Mayo's, that wasn't a trash dump, that was a trash spread.
well, the potential is there. Someone found a spoon, and other people found a bunch of cool stuff there. There was
Yeah, no, there was stuff everywhere. People were finding good
the
things. I
millstones
mean,
were there, so
yeah.
all sorts of cool stuff was actually there. That was an old road, but we were at a site too that's not on the map, but was in the woods near the farm field, and what got pulled out of the ground? Hibernia and a wheat set. You were there when
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
happened.
found an Indian head not far from it.
There you go.
On
So
that
that
little
home site
on
was
that
not
little
listed.
berm,
Yeah,
when
home site was not listed there. And Mike found a Hibernia from 17 something 91 or got the date, but that was just do the research. Go to places that aren't not listed on the map. It's
yeah,
just funny
exactly.
that people seem to go right to those spots that they list on the map, and you'll see the crowds of people. That's directly where they go to. They don't go outside of that, and they're gonna be disappointed if you know they miss out on something. There's lots of holes, so
Oh
someone
yeah.
must be finding some
That-
targets.
That's where I was getting to on what I was disappointed about. The like it's like people just forget ethics, even ones who preach it, you know. There were targets, trash left in holes, on holes, around holes. There was open holes. Some, not all. I know that. Why is his name going out of my head?
Happening page.
Matt. Ah, I even have his. Matt. Gone digging. I know he didn't leave a giant crater, but there were some giant craters from looking for artifacts um, that were left. Uh, the guys spent the last couple days filling holes, and the farmers told them there's still more.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they left
Yeah.
the holes. Like for digging for artifacts, they left the holes.
Well, some did, yeah, and a lot of dig holes, a lot of relic dig holes. The one guy lost his key fob. Gene remembers that, and I told the guy after about an hour and a half of looking for it, he told us right where he was at, in the general area. And I told him, I said, well, your key fob would come up as a mid-tone, and I got tired of going, because he told me he was in his coat pocket in the front. So which means when he bent over to dig or look, it fell out. He scooped the dirt in with his foot. It's gone. So I went over each hole, and every hole had trash in it still. So I went back to him, and he was like, I guess you didn't find it. I said, no, I probably would have if you'd have taken your trash with you.
Ah, so guilty party. It's funny.
Yeah,
That's
one
funny.
of
I
them.
found a hotel key in the field. Both keys in the little card that they give you. Both keys were in there. The little cards in the
Oh,
field. So I didn't find it with a metal detector. I found it with my eyes. But it's kind of funny that you were able to the guilty party.
yeah, one of them. One of them.
One of them. I wish there was a way to track us. To track us, so we know who's going to be held accountable. It'd keep everybody honest. I guarantee everybody would pick up the garbage if they were held accountable for their actions.
Well, what people
This
don't
is
realize
life.
too is that I was witness to a couple. I won't say who said what, but I was there for a couple of times where people were letting Digstock know that there were open holes or somebody was digging where they shouldn't be digging or parked where they shouldn't be parked. So it is up to us, and to help police the area too. I mean, we say it on I see it all the time in Facebook groups. Oh, call them out, let them know. Like, hey, can you cover your hole, or you should take your trash with you. Be nice about it. and we should be doing that, especially an event this size. Hey, come on, man. You're gonna ruin it for all future events. Just fill your hole. Take your trash with you. And the thing is, on most of the fields, they had an iron dump.
Yep.
So I mean, it doesn't mean it only had to be iron. Like you dig aluminum cans, bring them over to the iron dump them out. That's what they were there for. But
Yep.
I was also disappointed in a lot of the behaviors of people on the last day.
Hmm.
So
Oh, yeah. Let's
you
witness
know,
to that too.
it's a learning lesson. Each event is going to be a learning lesson, especially when they add something new like the seated hunt. So
Hmm.
with the prizes, this is, with the blue tokens, it was probably equal half and half on shirts and hats. So there were 600 blue tokens. So just have them down and like 300 of them have the number one, 300 have the number two, have the shirts as number one, hats as number two. Then you don't have the problem with the people with multiple coins, multiple tokens only taking shirts or whatever. And then same with the other tables. Like I was on the red table. And there were 5 pinpointers, 3 carbon fiber shaft rods, 5 knives. Trying to remember what all was on the table. It was like 6 bags, 6 or 8 bags of pay dirt. There was about twice as much on the concentrate. There was 5 XP headphones, wired headphones,
Hmm.
and there were some vouchers. And one of the vouchers was worth $1,000, and they were all given by the Lost Dutchman mine. You know how they put on their events. So these were vouchers to any of their events. Well, nobody wanted the vouchers because it was a piece of paper with a number on it. You know what I mean? They didn't take the time to look at it. Like you could have been, if you had 2 tokens, you could have gotten any of the dirt events, including the 1,000. There was only one, of the $1,000 one, and then one of the campsite vouchers for so you could camp there and attend an event. And the only thing you're spending is the gas out of your car.
Yep.
But they didn't see the value in that. And because I was standing there the whole time, a few walked by looking at the stuff, and like what I want this. This is what I want when I get up to the table. Well, the problem is the people before, first 2 guys only had like 1 token each, and then the next guy had like 2. Then you got the people with the 5 or 6 of them, and they're taking. One guy took 3 pinpointers. Well, I can't tell him he can't.
Right.
So what I would do is like that. I know it's a hassle, but you have 5 pinpointers, 5 headphones, 5 knives. So 1, 2, and 3, 5 tokens each have 1, 2, and 3 on. Like 1 or 2 or 3 on them. So this way, when they're finding these multiple tokens, they might have 2 for the vouchers and 1 for the headphones and 1 for the pinpointer, and it gives the people in the back of the line an opportunity to get something what they feel is good. I mean, when one guy came up to the table, there was like 1 set of headphones and the vouchers left, and he threw all 11 tokens at us. I understand the disappointment, and I would have felt bad for him if he didn't chuck the tokens down like that. Like it was our fault. I understand you're disappointed. You were in the back of the line.
Well, what I noticed, I know you guys were really busy behind the table. What I noticed was no line. There was a crowd of people
Oh, at
pushing
the blue
forward.
table, yeah.
Well, it looked like a crowd of people over in front of you too. It looked like there wasn't a single line. It looked like it was spread out. So
Yeah,
either
it was kind of like 2 lines, but
okay,
I looked them up because I can't remember who was with me. So there was 2 of us there. So as they came up, they grabbed their thing and they left.
it was Il Digger that was with you. I
Huh?
think was Il Digger with you?
No, no. It was
Okay.
one of their wives. I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay. Okay.
So so it was the 2 of us, and as they came up, they gave us their tokens. So it kind of didn't look the blue tokens. That was just ridiculous. The behavior of all those people was appalling.
It was shirts and hats. It was
Right.
shirts and hats, and it looked like a Black Friday event where people were going up and just grabbing. I I didn't see the exchange of coins and I'll take a hat, I'll take a shirt, I'll take. it wasn't going on like that. People were either giving the coins and then they'd snatch the stuff and take off if they're giving the coins, or maybe they weren't giving coins. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I could
I'm
see
sure for the most part there were. There were probably a few hands put in there that weren't. I mean, it was really hard. There was three of them doing it, three or four, and
it's
it was
hard to
really
count that
hard
many people.
because it was like it was a crush of people, and it wasn't because it was raining. You
Part of
know,
it was the crowd inside the tent because it was raining, but
well, not
I don't know.
entirely. There were a few on the outside, but
Yeah,
still, there was just that. That to me was truly appalling. That was just ridiculously ridiculous. The behavior of those people. That's what I was disappointed in. Hey,
hmm
Arizona treasure hunting duo, Swamp Knitter. Let me see. I'm trying to say hi to Evolved Outdoor Expeditions. Hello, Michigan Digging, and she's actually coming up. Evolved, Torchy on the Run. It didn't help with the rain. That's true. Oh, it's Harry, Hometown History Hunter. Here's another one. This guy had a good time. We're gonna bring him up. Have him.
Hey Ray.
Hey, Gary.
Oh, I had a blast. I had a blast. I mean, yeah, like you said earlier, when you basically spoke for me, I didn't find silver, I didn't find gold, I didn't find arrowheads, but the iron I found to me, hey, it was still something. I enjoyed it. Like you said, I found the plow blade that had it says something Wayne for champion on it. I found what looked like maybe a lug wrench. I found a hook. So I mean, granted, it's nothing spectacular, but like you said, it's digging in dirt and soil that I've never detected before.
Plus, you look like a kid in a candy shop. I gotta admit it.
Oh,
You
I
did.
was.
the
Yeah, you were
potential's
just
there though.
you were ear to
Potential's
ear
there.
smile the whole time. Every time I ran into Gary, he was just big, big, huge smile on his face.
But isn't that
And
what it's supposed to be?
exactly. And that's what
There
I
you
told
go.
him. Like for the amount of people you made happy, there's really not that many that walked away all, you know, loaded diaper pants.
Disappointed.
Like
No,
no, disappointed in one thing. Some of these
but no, but
people
like,
were, I mean, they could come
oh
and
yeah,
back me. They were crying.
I set their
oh
expectations
yeah,
too high.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, in the
Not
event,
everybody gets a prize
like
or
in
a
the end,
trophy.
these things 80% of it's the social aspect. Even if you're out there digging, you're digging with people you would have never dug with before, or you look forward to digging
exactly.
with, or bumping
Hey,
into.
I was out digging with a guy I met basically that was going down there. He was from Canada. He was in the hotel room right next to me. We went out Saturday, and somehow or another, I lost my trowel, then my pinpointer bit the dust. And what happens? We went back to headquarters, and he ended up buying me the Note the Macra pinpointer and another trowel
That's
See,
awesome.
that's why you go there. It's like
for the make friends, like you said, meet the people. And that's what I did. That was my whole purpose of going, really.
well, this is my challenge for all those in the chat that have attended any event, but especially Digstock right now. When you see the negative reviews, often it's somebody that's hugely disappointed, and it's the disappointment can't be a Digstock. Can they learn? Can Digstock learn from this event? Yes, they can.
Yes,
But the amount of bashing going on right now by the few, literally the few, compared to how many people there were there, the few. Hey, Grandma Kelly, the few. We need to flood the positive out there to
exactly.
counteract the amount of the little bit of negative. Because I'm sorry, but babies cry the loudest. They scream the loudest. That's why they can't talk, so they scream. So we give them attention. We need to start putting positive attention out there. I try because it's our nature. It's our nature to bitch. It is. Excuse the French. I don't think there's really too many children right now in there, but it's our nature to bitch and complain and moan. But how often do you praise? You know,
Yeah,
when you're traveling and you're stuck at going to a fast food joint. Hey, PA relic hunters, and you're like, oh man, I hate McDonald's, but it's the only one that's nearby, so I'm gonna stop in there. Hey, Scott McClory, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna grab a burger, and the burger actually has no errors on it. right? It's got the two
Okay.
pickles in the right spot. The onions are spread just right. Little dollop of ketchup, and you're good to go. And every bite tastes good. Do you call the place and tell them how great it was? Do you go on the social media and say what a wonderful experience that McDonald's was?
No, most people complain.
Exactly. That's what we do. We're humans. That's what we do. It's our
Not
nature.
Hmm.
enough napkins.
What we need to do is start flooding these pages with the positive things that you got from him. Did I think things could have been done a little bit different? Yeah, but I know for them this is a growing and learning experience, and
Yeah.
they do take um, positive suggestions. You know, not negative. "Oh, you should do it this." No, but they will take suggestions. They will hear you out. They will listen to your suggestions. But the amount of negativity coming at them, they're just like you and me. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, from what I'm saying is, like you said, the people are complaining, but they're not offering suggestions. If you're going to complain, at least offer a suggestion. Don't just complain.
Right. There should be. I mean, Scott McClory did make a suggestion, but like I said, they're open to suggestions. They are. They want to run an excellent event. They want everybody to have a good time. Unfortunately, you can't do that. You can't make everybody happy.
No.
But you learn from and you grow from these things. This is the first time they had cornhole. This is the first time they did a nighttime only using your pinpointer seated hunt. That was free, by the way. All these people crying, that was free. Most of the time, seated portions you have to pay for. That was free, and yet you still had it. Yeah, I know the
Live band.
people. I saw somebody say a comment about the back of the line, and there wasn't very much left. So on each table, except for that $1,000 voucher, that was worth me more than anything on the red table. Everything was in the same area of value, monetary value. The value to you is going to be totally different. What was on that red table that I saw? I probably would have wanted a pinpointer over that knife, but the value was the same monetary. So whatever, you come up on the table and you're like, oh, there wasn't anything last. I I know they fox on the ground. I know yeah, because in the end, those three guys are human. And you got people constantly bashing, oh, it went off too early, or this or that, or wah, 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 wah. It was the first one they did.
If
Yeah,
they
no,
even came out and
he changed
apologized.
it. Like I explained to you, Scott, he sees this too. And he sees the constant bitching and complaining. But how many people went to him and say, hey, I got to, and I know you put a suggestion, but by the time you did, there was a lot of hate directed. And he changed it. I believe he did it on his own. Yeah, constructive criticism in a positive manner is one thing. Being hateful and nasty and showing your disappointment because you didn't win a prize is another.
Did
You
you win a
know,
trophy? Everybody wins a trophy.
yeah. I did the night hunt. I was there on time and I did it. And you know what I
I
found?
was there.
Well, Gary got one of my finds. I told him eventually he's
Yeah,
going to win one of my giveaways anyway, so might as well take it now. I found.
exactly. Thank you anyway. I appreciate it.
I gave him a standing Liberty quarter and I found 2 dimes. That's what I found on the night seated hunt. But did I go around fussing and moaning because I didn't get tokens and I couldn't win a detector or a hand digger or anything? I didn't. That's what I got. I had just as much opportunity as everybody else, and that's what I found.
The whole field was surrounded. Everybody was shoulder to shoulder all the way around the field up to a
Yeah.
half hour or so early. So everybody was in position, and there were different layers, just people behind people in line for a half hour, not waiting till the last minute to get up to the field too. So there was a pretty good size amount of people, a good crowd around the whole perimeter. So when it went off, there was a crowd of people, but a lot of people ran closer to the center and didn't stick to the side. So there should have been stuff along the sides that were still overlooked. Uh, there's a lot of potential there. You know, I did notice when I was swinging my pinpointer, it kept going off. I looked in front of me, and there was someone else with the pinpointer doing the same thing. We're going, and we realized we're both touching each other's pinpointer, almost looking for targets. So I got a little excited, like, oh, there's something here, and I look up, and I see their light touching mine, and we're touching pinpointer to pinpointer, which is kind of funny. But
Well, I also saw some posts about people who came up to the field and up to the night hunt late, like somebody heard the cannon while they were out in the parking lot, and they still managed to find a few tokens or a few dimes or whatever. The only nice complaint I saw was a 75-year-old who said he knew it would be hard on his hands and knees.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
So
there were still people finding things, though. I was one of the last people off the field. I was one of the last people off the field. They had to call me off. But there were still people on their hands and knees at pinpointer, and I'm hearing them dig for stuff or search around for stuff, and I heard their pinpointers going off. So there was still stuff being picked up with a pinpointer, whether it be under the ground or something. Yeah. But I was there until 8:15.
Who dug that chain out that I found? That big, huge metal chain. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I spent a good 5 minutes on that thing trying to find the coin until I saw one of the chain links sticking out. I mean, it was a big, huge tractor chain, and I was like, okay, well, I'm done over here.
Hey, I went back to the seeded field on Sunday, and just to see what I could find, and there was still stuff there because there was a guy off to the, if you're basically looking from the tent side, off to the right, he found a natural find. He found a button. So there's stuff out there.
Down there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
An Indian underneath the ground, so it wasn't part of the planted seeded hunt. They found an Indian, natural Indian in the ground. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, Scott said, and people found stuff the next day too in that seeded field.
Yeah.
And they were still looking Sunday because nobody found the key, or somebody probably found it and dropped it.
Or put it away as trash. They thought it was trash in their trash bag.
That's a good question right there. Who cleaned up the trash and filled the holes? I can tell you who did.
I was filling holes. I know that much.
The guys have been doing it. Here's one of them. Also, let me just mention real quick. I forgot to mention this earlier before we talked to Thomas. Also, those guys were really sick, by the way. None of them were feeling well at all. Not at all.
Matt said he only had about an hour's sleep on Thursday.
Yeah, he was probably the sickest of the three the first 2 days.
Yeah.
These guys still put on that event. I mean,
and did a hell of a job doing it.
They put on that event. They were all feeling really sick. But all those complainers too, by the way, I didn't see one of them step up. Not one of them step up to help out in any area.
Volunteer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do realize if any of them watch this, they saw me check them in, and they saw me at the red table. I don't think they knew I was a participant, but I was, and I wasn't paid to be there. I didn't get anything for that. I did it because I respect these three guys, and I knew they were a man down with some of the team from that man. So I told them from the get-go, anywhere you need me, I'm there for the people. I could find stuff here, I could make a trip down to North Carolina, find someplace down there. But I was there for the fun, for the event. And if they needed my help, I was theirs. And I was the whole weekend. I mean, not Saturday. I was out all day, but.
Yeah. And, we appreciate your help there coming out and, helping us and stuff. Yeah, like you said, you got to forgive me. I probably look rough. Yeah, all of us are pretty much sick. I know Matt thought he had walking pneumonia, and actually, I think he's got real bad bronchitis. He's got on treatment. Today's my first day. I've been all right. I've been running fevers and chills and sweating it out. So, yeah, a lot of people are sick, but there again, we pulled it off. To address some of the things going on. Like I said, yeah, we take it. And take the comments, to a certain degree. Do we take them all personally? I would say all of us, some people are going to, because we got a lot invested in this. if you look at some of the things that happened, we tried to explain, just like the night of the seated hunt. Well, let's back up. Let's go to the day for the children's. We had it on the schedule about the children seated to hunt.
Right. I saw
And
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
and even announced it. Well, only 2 came. And so, we gave those 2 detectors. Well, then after the fact, then we had people coming up asking about it. So it's like, we started that on time and we got complaints because people came in late, but yeah, we started that one on time and got complaints because of that. And, okay, so that it is what it is. We remedied that by having the next one on Saturday. You go to the nighttime seated hunt. Yes, I was up there at 6 on the dot, and I went back over all the rules, told everybody. Actually said, you can start lining up at 7:15. We were going back there to seat everything. On the way back, people were already walking out there. I said, please go back so we can seat everything. I go out there, we're seating people that, some of the other ones are out there putting stuff, and here, hundreds of people are coming. We can't scream, our voices are almost gone. We're putting out the lot of lights and stuff, to kind of make it look different and things like that. And, and I got, requests that will you please get on the bullhorn and announce, because people were picking up their little red flashlights and the lights, and got requested that will you make a statement to tell them not to take them. And so when I did that, of course, Matt was setting up the fireworks, and at the time, he knew that there was a certain starting point, but because of me having to make that announcement, things got miscommunicated. And so, yes, they went off early. I believe it was actually 6:46 when I looked and I saw it, because I was like, wow, I didn't expect that myself. He thought me making the statement was telling everybody, that, hey, we're getting, everything's getting ready to go. So, yeah, and we take that. That's our mistake. We claim it. We went an extra, I took it from, instead of, start 7:15, we went to 8:15. I heard a lot of comments saying, and some of them I had to say that they were not true, because there was some people out there that actually lost their cell phones. And I had to go out there personally and walk that whole piece out there looking for it with a flashlight. And I can tell you, there was multiple things still left out there because I saw them. And there was people back out the next morning finding stuff again. So to say there was nothing left there, no targets, that was just not true. Now, can I say there was 50 targets? Can I say there was 500 targets? I don't know. But I know there was targets. There was stuff there. Then, of course, we had people that were driving where they're not supposed to be driving, digging into church, doing stuff like that. We had to leave and address all that stuff. Little things, there's different hiccups. And then, yes, on the last day, as far as the coins, I don't know, as far as turning in tokens, we've done it different ways before. We tried something different again with this one to see how this would work. And so, hey, next time we'll know that we need to do something a little different. And that's what we're about. We tell everybody, come to us, give us suggestions, good criticism. We're all for it. But a lot of people don't understand of what is all behind in the background going on. I've seen people throwing some figures out there of how many hours they put in the field or whatever, and then the cost and what they're saying we made. And
I saw that.
Oh, it's unbelievable just to see. And I even seen somebody say that our tickets were $300 a piece. That's not even close.
Did you see that? I saw that one too.
So it's like, where are these numbers coming from? You have no idea how much money we put back and how much money was in the ground, or how much stuff was offered. So, there's a lot of things to take in factor. And I don't expect everybody to understand and know all that.
They don't know all the logistics. I mean,
yeah.
I saw one saying that they buy $1 million insurance policy for the year, but you guys are not technically buying for the year. You're buying for the property.
Yeah. And then we have other things that we have to cover too, and there's other costs and going back and forth, and, they don't see the after fact. Just like right now, here it is Wednesday, and we're still having to take care of things that were left. Like even all the way up to Friday, I'll be up there because like I said, we're sick right now, so can't go. But even come Friday, I'll have to go back and cover up holes that people left and get trash up. So the people don't see that. So when they put stuff out, or they say things, then we're like, hey, if you don't mind volunteering, we'd be grateful for it, because it's a lot more than you think it is. And most of the people that volunteer and do help, they wind up seeing what all goes into it.
I got the edge too when I talk about you guys. Like, I've gotten to know the three of you pretty well. Like I went out to Texas Treasure Show last February.
Right.
And I did somebody gave me their entry to a seated hunt, so I actually was able to do it. Matt gave me his dais to use, and I wasn't really used to it, so I didn't get tokens. And I don't remember there was another spot to get tokens. I didn't get any. Matt gave me a couple of his tokens, so I actually walked away with a couple prizes. So that's actually who Matt is. Thomas is probably one of the nicest dudes you'll meet on the planet.
I try to be.
He didn't give me any tokens, but he's always been there as a friend. When I reach out for whatever, and Dave's quiet.
Yeah, Dave is the one. He helps bring us all back down, and stuff like that, and keep everybody level-headed on certain things.
He's like the dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and people don't realize, like, that's this past weekend, not only did you have 750 people, we're just gonna leave it at that, because I'm sure there's a little more. You had some guests, you had children, you had some people who won tickets, and stuff like that. So, but we'll say 750 people. Just keep it at that round figure. 750 people that you guys, just you three, and your small team. What was it?
Mainly of our wives, and then some of them were our friends, and actually some were our parents that were there. People's parents that were there helping. So we gather in what we can.
Not even a dozen people. About a dozen.
Right.
And then my people, but coming around once in a while and helping out. But
Wow.
And we know, it's already been discussed. We know next time that for something that event, we're going to need even more people, to handle different things, especially out patrolling, making sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. Because you had, so there's 750 people over 7,000 acres. That wasn't 7,000 in just one area. It wasn't the King Ranch in Texas. It was the farthest one away was about 13 miles from from the headquarters. Maybe
it was. Yeah, a lot of it was really spread out, and and that's the other thing. As far as when you're looking at fines and things that came in, yes, there was fines, and that's why we have a fines table for everybody to be able to see what's up there. But you also got to understand that was 7,000 acres, and I can guarantee you nobody covered. All the people there still did not cover that 7,000 acres.
No, there was fields Gene and I went to that were empty.
Right. And so
we would pass an area that have 700 people on it. It's like, why are you all going to the same area? Just spread out, man.
Right. And then you go and you look at our maps. We offer a lot more in those maps than I would say probably anybody else, I guess. And we make it as easy as we can already. Some of it's X marks the spot, but yes, not everything is on there. There's some stuff on there that that we don't find or it's not on a map. And then you got people say, well, there was nothing there colonial. Of course there was. And and you got houses that if a house was built in the mid 1800s, your maps might not go back but so far. But you can trace it back a little further, and you can tell where the house was built in the early 1800s or the late 1700s. And there again, we go out, we test certain areas, and we find enough stuff. We step back. I mean, if we didn't, and we went in there and hunted it all, then somebody say, "Well, you hunted it all out." So we leave it alone.
There's no way the three of you could have hunted it all out.
No way. So not all that.
No, so we try to offer and give the most that we can, and give everybody a great experience and overall. And yes, finding stuff is great, and I know some people are hardcore, and that's all they want. So I can tell from this that some people are hardcore. All they wanted was a seated hunt, But we look at it as that was an extra perk, and to us, for the amount of money that we charge just for that and all that you got, I don't think you'll find that value in anything else. I don't think so.
Mhm.
Cheap.
No, you guys
Cheap,
try to make the
actually.
first day, which generally in most an event weekend long events anyway. Usually the first day is not much but meet and greet, find out the rules and do this and that and the other. There's not usually any hunting involved.
Right.
If they set anything up the night before the first day anyway. I mean, would you rather waste the first morning doing all that?
Yeah, and just like with this event, we don't. I had one time that I got to go out and help somebody get on the arrowheads. I think it was up there in field 7 or 8 where they were digging,
7.
and I had one chance there, time to actually go and do it. Other than that, we don't get to go out and hunt and do anything, which is why we started doing some smaller scale stuff like the arrowhead hunt coming up in April. Coming up, it's only 100 tickets being sold, and so that's so we can get more personal. We can get in there, we can talk to people, teach people, have a good time, make some memories, laugh. That's what we really wanted about, and it's hard to do it on a large scale. But then you also have people that want to come out and have things on a larger scale.
That field 7 definitely had you had indicated there was Indian button and a black glass. I think you said
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the map.
Yeah.
And just walking the north edge of that field as it starts to rise into that back corner, I was finding this stuff here.
Yep.
This is just picked off the surface. This is off the surface, no
Wow.
digging whatsoever. As I walked, of course, I wasn't metal detecting because I was busy looking at the ground, but this was just a fraction of what I found on the surface out there in that corner. And I brought it back and displayed it because it's a variety of pottery that everybody could see. There's a variety, and that was from Field 7 on the north edge. And then I went out there the next day, and there was holes going on, and people were finding stuff left and right. It really didn't matter where you dug, as long as you were along that edge there, the west edge and the north edge. They were finding stuff, and I actually guided a family into an area where I saw a bunch of fragments on the surface, and they dug down. I told them to dig a hole about a foot wide until you hit something. If you don't hit anything, move on to the next and dig a hole about a foot wide. They nailed it. As soon as they came right down down about that far, they found a potsherd about that big,
Yeah.
laying in situ. It's the rim sherd and everything with the design perfect. I'm like, you may have a whole pot here.
Yeah.
They got a little bit methodical. The son got out his little archaeology stuff, his fossil kit with a brush and everything, and they were going to town. And when it came back to prize time, he stayed out there. Dad stayed out there with the son, I think, and continued to dig. So
Yeah.
they're finding stuff.
Yeah, and it's the little things like that to me that I enjoy seeing, because that's the spark that could start somebody in a career, or having a passion for something else. For me, it was just walking a field with my dad at a young age and finding an arrowhead to spark the passion for me to learn how to do reproduction stuff and make points and stuff. So to me, I just enjoy seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is my big find.
There you go.
I had Matt and for those in the chat, Aqua Chigger, check it to make sure it was a piece of chert, and that's what that is. But that's
there you have the quartz, and you have the greenstone, right, for chert.
No,
material?
that's
The
cool.
green. Yeah, the green. Yeah, the white is quartzite, and then the green material we have, which it comes in different colors too, but mostly that green is called rhyolite. So, which is metavolcanic. It was formed by a volcano, just like obsidian is.
That's pretty cool looking too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. But no, I figured I'd hop on, real quick. I'm like I said, I'm feeling better today than I have yet, and just see if anybody had any questions or whatever. Like I said, we're constantly on, reading this and that. Yeah, certain things they get discouraging just because of the fact that everybody's saying this and that and stuff. Some stuff's not even true at all, and just way off. Other things are, yeah. I hear a lot of people say they never apologize. Yeah. I personally went up there and apologized and said, we'll work at it to make it better, But, we got emails from people pretty much just telling us to give everybody who didn't find something free, period. Just give it to them, and then to have extra raffles and give extra tickets out and all this other stuff. And there's no way we can just do all that.
No,
It's not
you
as
can't.
simple as they think it is. So, there again, we take it, we'll learn from it. Suggestions are welcomed. Criticism that's positive, that's fine. I have no problem with any of it, and we'll take it and we'll learn from it. We'll have meetings and try to improve on anything we can. We usually do that. And most of the time, things work out. Like I said, there was a lot of news for this one for us. And, but, hey, it's fine. It worked out and we'll do better on the next one.
Hey, Tom.
You're just gonna
I've
keep
got a
doing
suggestion.
better and
Yes,
better.
sir.
Yeah, I got a suggestion too. So go ahead, Ken.
Well, my suggestion is, I went to Digstock 3. That was my first one. Digstock 3 had I believe about 250 people, and it was higher price per person
Yeah.
at that event.
Yeah.
That worked out fine. That worked out fine. If you had less people and charged more, the people there are going to appreciate it and enjoy it more without having the crowd. That's just my opinion. I mean, you would have less people whining
Yeah.
and less people.
Yeah, but
We
the
can
problem
control
is,
ourselves a little bit more and control each other a little bit more when there's a smaller crowd because we'll keep everybody in check. But the
Yeah.
more people, you start getting the crowd mentality, the mob mentality, and you get a big enough crowd, there's always going to be bad apples in those crowds. So if you reduce that by reducing the quantity of people, you have less
yeah, but you're
less
still gonna
complaints.
have, you're still gonna have. You can't please everybody.
Right, but you have less.
No,
That's what
Less
I
of
was
those.
saying earlier. Like there
Charge
was
more.
750. We're just gonna leave that number because there was probably a little bit more than that. But you had 750 people, right?
Yeah.
And the last event had how many? Let's just say the fall one. I didn't get to go up there,
I
but
think that was 250, 300 right in there.
all right. So we'll say 300. So now we're at a little more than twice the amount that you had up up in New York.
Right.
And so the amount of negative feedback is going to be double.
Of course.
So,
You know,
so
yeah.
but we know it here, but back here, right here, it's going to hurt double because you see it a lot more now than you did the last time.
Right.
So, but I'm putting a challenge out to everybody's watching, and I want you to spread the challenge to start, saying positive things about any event you've been to, including Digstock. It doesn't matter which one. I know a lot of people can't attend or haven't yet to attend the Digstock event, but when you see the negative comments, counteract them. That's your challenge. That's what I've been busy doing, is counteracting as much as I can.
Well, I think for me, and I'm probably going to speak for us, us three as far as owners and stuff. I think the thing that really bothers us the most is that you see people making comments, and then yes, some of them we block them off of our group, because if they're just keep on about the same stuff and it's negative, it's not going anywhere. And so, I mean, at what point, and some of them we even warn them like, hey, that's enough. So at some point, it's like, okay, well, you just got to get rid of it. Well, there's other groups that they go to and they post in, and there again, what they're saying is not actual factual. It's not all true. But these other groups let those posts stay up. And that's what gets me, is because they're not fact checking a lot of the stuff that's being said, and they're just letting them post it. And so and of course,
I ain't afraid to seated and unseated on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the ones. I'm just saying there's groups out there.
I want everybody to go there that went to Digstock, including you, Scott, to put the positives. I know that Scott McClory was disappointed about something, and he had mentioned it and gave an idea on how to constructively fix that. I saw his thing.
Right.
And I told him that initially the reply wasn't polite. It wasn't nasty. It just was, pretty much I've had enough of this shit, kind of reply. And I said that. I said, Digstock has been, having to go back and refute some of the things that are false. I mean, when you came up, when your comment came up, it wasn't personally directed at you, the negative reply, which was corrected.
Yeah, and like I said, each
But they
one of
do
us.
take, and then it's how you word your constructive criticism on something. Like you can say, I was disappointed in this, and I feel that, if it was done this way, maybe in the future you could do it this way, it might go over better. That's one way
Yeah.
to put something.
Yeah,
So,
and you got to think too. After all this, people being tired, wore out, sick. And then all this on top. There is frustration there and stuff like that. So yeah, like I think I replied to I think Scott. I think I saw Scott's and I told him I agree with what he said. With what he said and stuff, and the same thing that we'll continue to improve. So like I said, there's just a lot going on right now, and all this at one time, coming in, and the fact that some of it is just being overblown by what they're saying, it's not even true. That's the big thing. So people, all I can say is, the ones that's been to our events and people that know what's happened, go on and leave a review. We tell everybody, it's like people have come to our events, and I've talked to them personally, and they tell me, hey, this won't that great. Well, I encourage you to go to other events and see how they run. If they're better than what we are doing, then hey, I'm better. Anybody wants to go to something better, I'm all for it. I don't blame anybody. So,
Hey, Thomas,
the best
I've got to,
thing was not having the hunt meeting Friday morning. See, that's why they did it the way they did it, so that you had the two. Well, we were hoping for three, but 2 full days of detecting out there.
Yeah, we cut that.
yeah.
We cut the Friday morning part out, so we did it all Thursday. Figured bring everybody in for parking and not have to do that again, and to be a mad rush out Friday morning.
Yeah.
So there again, we tried something different. Like I said, we learned from it all.
Okay, I
Work.
don't know. I've got a suggestion. I don't know if
Yes,
I
sir.
missed it, maybe reading over everything, but looking at your maps that you guys put out, well, I mean, they were great, don't get me wrong, but my suggestion would be for whether you got the home sites, maybe put something that says home sites or approximate. Because I've noticed a couple that was like, it looked like it was on one side of the road and it was actually in the woods on the other. And
Yeah.
some people were going to where the home site was on your map, and it's like there's no home site here.
Yeah, well, so some of the maps was what we do. Of course, we go back, do our research, look at old maps, and then we do overlays and stuff like that, and try to, put them in a close as we can approximate location. There
Right.
again, if you're looking at something that's a couple hundred years old,
Yeah.
we can't definitely put them on. Some of them they are. Some of them we go out and put feet, on the ground and actually know that's where they were. But then again, there's others, can we say we can cover 150 home sites, the whole,
No.
every single one? No, some of them we have to narrow them down, and just be like, okay, well, this is where they are, and then let people kind of do their own due diligence and go do some research and find or put feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Porta potties were brought up by Flash.
I did see that, and I agree with that. Next time we can like have it spaced out.
I used the porta potties at headquarters several times, and there was how many were by headquarters? 10?
I'm not sure exactly how many we have, but I know there was at least 10 over there.
Yeah,
Something
something like that.
10 or 12. And so I used different ones at different times, and I gotta say, for a basically 4-day event with 700 plus people, 750 plus people, including the vendors and the food trucks and whatnot, they were pretty clean porta potties.
Yeah, they were.
And as a female, for you females out there, no matter which one I went in, always had toilet paper.
I will say, I saw where something was mentioned about the food trucks, and so how the food trucks work is those food vendors and stuff that came out, they were not charged a dime to come to our event. Right, they got to come free, and whatever they made is what they made. Now, we told them and gave them actually a contract to sign that they said they will be there at a certain time and leave at a certain time. And, to how much they stick to that, that's on them. We can't control them but so much because, it ain't like we had certain ones to call on dial up and say, hey, this person didn't come, can you come? So I know one of them, I think it was the Wards, the big long one that had like the steak ribeye sandwiches. I
Yeah.
do know that he had an emergency surgery that that day or that morning, and they couldn't get out there the day of. So I do know that happened. As far as the other ones, I know some of them sold out and they didn't have any more food. You know, they even reached out to me as far as breakfast in the morning wise and said, you know, how much should I prepare? I don't want to sit there and tell them to prepare 750 biscuits and they only sell 100. You know, so you know, I tell them, you know, I don't know, maybe 200. You know, and go at something. Some of that stuff is, you know, you kind of gauge it as you go, and you don't know exactly what to tell them. But as far as them leaving, some of them missed out. I mean, we even told them you should have been here. You could have made some good money. You know, other ones they stuck around for a while and they did.
That
So
family with the little green truck, man.
that was, I believe it was Nana's hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they,
And her
they were there
daughter
all the
doing
way to
the
the
home
end.
baked goods.
Yep.
You know,
So
and they came out and for the rain day too,
exactly,
and they made money.
exactly.
You know, and sweetest people too. Sweetest people. You ever do it anywhere in that area again? Make sure they come.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we got them and the other one. I think it was the Bird Man that had the
Yeah,
wings and stuff.
yeah,
They really had a big
Yeah,
menu.
they
You
stayed
know.
open pretty much to the end too.
Yep. Yep.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think people realize that you didn't. That's what I was saying earlier. You guys didn't hire the food trucks.
No, they weren't
You didn't
hired.
hire the food trucks,
No, they were at free will to come out. You know, and stuff like that.
and
So
that's not even common, by the way. And those food truck guys knew it. Usually, they have to pay to have a spot there.
yeah, usually a substantial amount.
Yeah.
You know.
So, you know, you were doing a couple small businesses, like literally small businesses, uh, you know, helping them out too at the same time.
Right.
You know, these are not big restaurant chains bringing their little trucks over. These are mom and pops.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, certain things, you know, that's the thing. We try to cut costs down because, like I said, we do put so much back into the event and what we're doing. And like I said, there's a lot of other things that people don't see that the money goes to, but we do that to keep the cost down for everybody else.
Yeah. And you know, I didn't look at the prices of all the food trucks, but they really weren't that bad.
No, I mean,
No,
I mean, for food trucks, I would say that they were actually around average for a food truck. Some of them actually a little cheaper, I thought, because I have
That's
seen
what,
them way higher than that.
yeah, I think the Nana's and the hot dog, the hot dog and hamburger one, you
Yeah,
know, she was not that expensive, and neither were her daughter's home baked goods.
no, because
So
I've been to fairgrounds and seen them or something like that, and way higher than that.
yeah, it's definitely not bad. I was going to say something else too. But that's totally lost my train of thought on that. But yeah, I don't, you know, that was the other thing too about the alcohol that was served there. The beer, and they were all IPAs, weren't they?
Yeah, you had Tar Heel. I think it was Tar Heel Brewers or Brewery, and then you had Weldon Mills Distillery there.
Let's see, Scott. That's the thing. That's actually it was listed what time the food trucks would be there. And I'm pretty sure the food trucks did not realize just how quickly they would sell out on the first day. The second day, I don't think we had all four.
Yeah,
And basically, with any food truck at any event I've ever been to, yeah, they run out. They run out. They're small trucks.
yeah.
Uh,
We tried to
We're
prepare
full.
them by telling them how many people were going to be there. So, you know, it's not like we didn't prepare them for it, but you know, I don't think some of them they understand, especially coming to a first time thing like this kind of event. I don't think they're quite prepared for it. We run into that situation back when we had one of the other dig stocks as far as catering. That's why we decided to quit the catering part of it and having somebody bringing food in because we had issues with them getting there and then serving that amount of people. They didn't have an idea of how big that is and undertaking. And so to eliminate that, we said, okay, well, we won't do that anymore. We'll just have food trucks come out and let them deal with it.
well, on the first day too, there was the one truck that left early because they sold out first.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of choices too. I mean, they all came packed to feed. They probably were thinking maybe 100 people, maybe. I
No,
mean,
they all knew there was going to be around 1,000
yeah,
people
I
at
mean,
least.
like,
They knew that.
yeah, I'm just guesstimating, on the small, the little one, the
Yeah,
hot dog and hamburger cart, like they can't have 700 people's worth of food in there.
yeah,
That's why you send someone into town to get more, bring it back, and keep selling.
right.
Keep it going. Reap the
Yeah.
benefits.
I mean,
Yeah,
I guess we could start up a Digstock catering truck, and put that out there.
just do hot dogs and hamburgers, no choices.
Yeah.
Little bags of Lay's chips or something. But yeah, I mean, they went out there and they sold out. And you did, Scott.
I'm
So
really surprised you
they
pulled off
can't.
what you did with the amount of people you had. To be honest,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, that's
the
the
amount
thing
of
too.
Exactly.
people that attended
The
it,
food
and the
trucks,
amount of people you had for Digstock, uh, that's incredible.
It was amazing.
You know,
that's the
I
thing
mean,
too with the food trucks. So just stay on that one more second.
okay.
sorry.
Because there were Scott's not the. I mean, his is constructive, but Scott was not the only one to talk about the food trucks. But the Digstock team cannot control how long those food trucks are out there. Because I mean, if they had charged the food trucks, first of all, the food would have been more, and the food trucks, they would have been obligated. They stayed out there until they were done selling their food. Now that's on the food trucks end, because had they prepared for that, and each of them had teams with them. The big wing trailer had a truck that they could detach and go get some more wings to cook up. Like that was on them.
Yeah, and what people don't know is that we actually had about 4 food trucks extra that backed out on us at the last minute. So, that's because they thought the weather was going to get bad. And, there again, we make them sign a contract. Can we technically hold them to that? Not really, because we're not charging them anything. But,
Right.
we had about 4 trucks back out on us at the last minute. And so, there again, it's kind of out of our control.
That definitely is. I mean, that was on the food
Yeah.
trucks and not really Digstock's end. They can't go out there and say, no, you have to stay here, you know. And
Unfortunately.
sorry, but the little green one stayed there. you know,
All
they
we
were
can
like,
tell them is if you want to make
we will
money,
go out and find a
there's people
pig
there that's
and
hungry.
huh?
I said, all we can tell them is if y'all want to make some money, there's people that will be there hungry. That's all we can
Yeah,
tell
and they stayed as late as they could till
Yep.
they eventually ran out. But
them.
I think the daughter sold all her baked goods too, because when they ran out of hamburger and hot dogs, there wasn't much left but to eat her little sweet potato cakes and stuff.
Should have
Right.
charged
But
twice
she
as
had a
much.
whole different thing the next day.
Yeah.
So,
Supply and
and that's
demand should
what
have charged
I
twice
was
as
telling
much.
Ray asked a good question. Ray's find is Ray Jones. So does Digstock think they will try to do a large event again like this in the future?
Um, I mean, I can see us doing one. I mean, really, ones on this scale, this one's our biggest, but ones on this scale, we usually only do every 2 years. So, other than that, we don't really have them this large. Maybe on a two per year on this scale, probably around 250, 300. But I mean, yes, I would like to have another big one every 2 years like this. But there again, we got a lot to go back and kind of reevaluate staff, everything on it this time. There again, the last one we had that was even close to this was in Chazy. So
That was what, 400 or 500?
that was I believe around 650.
Oh, really? Was it? Oh.
So I mean, you figure, and that was total. This one was like double that. So when you look at everybody, including the manufacturers, the vendors, guests, all that.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a lot more than 750. I was just leaving it at that number since that was how many tickets were available to buy.
Yeah, that was only just for the tickets, like I said, and then you had people coming as a guest and all that. So
Yeah, it was a lot of people, and Dave figured out how to comment. Dave said, "Thanks for the support, Digstock Dave." There he is.
and I think I saw or maybe I read it somewhere. People asked, was anybody sent home? Yes, I will tell you, I personally sent somebody home that was from out of state. I hated to do it. I don't like to have to do it, but I did. I had to. I mean, it was pretty obvious what they were doing. They knew they weren't supposed to be doing it. I even asked them, did they get a map? They said yes. I mean, so I had to do it. You know, there was people that came very close to getting towed. And I'm not going to say that some people didn't get towed, but I even left it up to the tow driver, to the person bringing the tow truck, to let at their discretion with one of them. They were not, because I already called them, and you know they were there, and so I left it to them. And fortunately, that person was really nice. So I mean, you know, there again, we hate to do a lot of this stuff that we do, but you know, going forward, it's like, all right, well, do we need to get stricter about it? You know, but at some point, if we don't, then you know, a lot of the things just continue to keep happening. You know, are we going to have to start going out and policing the fields now and watching everybody see if they're covering their holes? Yeah, that may be what we have to do.
That's what I was saying before you popped up, when it was Ken and I here. You know, like that kind of falls on those that are participating as well. You know, you're not required to.
Yeah.
Snitches don't get stitches. Snitches don't get stitches in this case.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
you ain't snitching. You may, you know, there may be times that they're like, no, I heard the last, you know, I heard so and so's farm had like 500 holes, you know, and nobody ever covered them up. I don't want you here. You know, like it could ruin the hobby.
I mean, imagine if all
scale.
Imagine if all the bashing going on about, you know, the seeded hunt and, you know, some of the other things, if that bashing was toward all the people who didn't fill their holes in, you know, maybe we could get a lot more stuff done. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's just the way that's directed and can be directed differently, you know?
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I was there for one of the removals of people. But rules are rules, you know, that you had them set in stone. Do not go beyond these green lines. Do not park where you can't park. We have designated park areas where you take your chances of park alongside the road, but that's up to the state trooper to come and take your car away or not.
Right.
And for the most part, most people did abide by that. But I know there were a few that were like, I'll do what I want.
And like I said, and I will be the first to admit that, yes, we had our own rules for what time the seeded hunt started. There again, that was a mistake. You know, it was a miscommunication thing. And, you know, we take it, we apologize for it, and we'll make it better the next time. And that's if now, because, you know, and I hate to say it, but that's if we even do a seeded hunt again. It's just, do we want to deal with all that? We like being able to offer it and put it out. That's not our forte, but, you know, do we want to deal with all this again? Or, you know, I don't know. We're going to probably put some surveys out and see, you know, what the response is from people, from everybody. You know, if we can see that the overall response is more positive than the negative, then yeah, that encourages us to keep doing what we're doing, or, you know, and just improve on places, but to still offer the things that we're offering too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said, you know, like go to the sites. One of them is Seated and Unseated on Facebook. And put your positive thoughts on Digstock, because I gotta say, you know, when you only hear negative crap about yourself, or you know there's negative crap being said about what you're doing, it doesn't make you feel good. So, and for those of you who enjoy these events, and then I know there's a lot of people. I mean, the 750 tickets sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, and doing this now for as many events as I've done, and being in it now pretty much from the beginning, you know, the other issue is that you got people out there who have personal problems with people, and so they're making a big deal, and they just don't let it die, and they keep doing personal attacks. You know, I don't know, just leave that stuff out. You know, I don't know. I'm different. I'm not that old, but I am to the point where I'm a grown man, and I'm not a school kid, and it's like, let's just all get along. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy this hobby together. Let's bring new people into it. But all the other little stuff, the bickering and, you know, and got to have personal attacks on people because you don't like who that person is or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let's just do away with all that mess, you know?
Amen.
Yeah, well, That's the challenge. Let's start trying to find something positive to say about something.
You know, it's kind of like the old saying, "Can't we all just get along?"
Well, unfortunately, that'll never happen. Not everybody can get along. I mean, but you can possibly go to an event where there's 3, 4, 5, 750 people and not even bump into the person or people. Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think we could all try to, even when you're disappointed. Look, I was like, I think it was Saturday afternoon, Ken. Was that when Mike found his coin? And
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
so I was like, man, I didn't spend a whole lot of time detecting. The Friday we were driving around looking for my other friend that we were supposed to dig with, and she was like, "Oh, I'm here," and it's like 2 miles away. No, she was 12 miles away.
Now, you know what? And I'll give I'll kind of give a shout out. And I don't usually do this, but I think everybody knows Lawrence.
Yeah,
Action 5.
Action
yeah.
5.
I've seen him around since the
Larry,
beginning.
yeah,
You
back
know,
in back.
when we first started, I can't say that I knew who he was. You know, because I want the guy who's big into metal detecting. You know, I come in this looking at it in a different view. You know, but over the events, I've got to know him, and I'm gonna just say it out. He has got the most positive attitude. Man. He's just, I really like him. He's got a great attitude about things, and that's the way I think it should
He's
be.
fantastic.
Infectious.
I mean, that I was just gonna say that's the only thing I was
Yeah.
disappointed with, that I didn't give myself enough time to swing, so I didn't find as many things.
Right.
So those disappointments are actually disappointments. Hey, Jojo, disappointments in ourselves, actually, and the same with the people that are whining on, like different things, like, "Oh, I didn't find anything. You said there was stuff out there. There was no," and like I said to Matt, I said, I've listened to the podcast you guys were guests on. I've seen most of the streams you guys were guests on, and not one time did you promise people they were going to find, gold coins and U.S. buckles. They knew
There's
you never.
always, we always tell you, there's the possibility. There's always the possibility. I
Right.
mean, that's like telling you, I can tell you there's a possibility of finding a gold bar out there. I mean, yeah, it could be. I don't know, but there's the possibility. But all we're saying is there's the possibility of these things that we have done research and found that is in the area, or we saw on the ground, or when we tested and we recovered or saw. That's what's there.
Yeah, but I said, hey, there's a PG prospector. Uh, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys always said the potential is there.
Yep.
You never said you will definitely find a whole bunch of stuff and your bags will be overflowing. Well, some of them were because some of the people did take their trash, but you didn't say that.
Yeah.
You said the potential to find great things is there.
Yeah. I believe it was.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
Yeah, I believe it was on the. I think it was on the last day. I forgot where it was. I had to. I think it was me and Matt that headed out somewhere and was coming back. Yeah, I believe it was that. I believe it was that Sunday, and we saw a lone car in a place where we hadn't seen anybody else. And if I ain't mistaken, it's the same guy. But me and Matt were sitting there going like, Matt's like, that's the guy that's going to find something right there because he's in the spot and nobody else is going to go. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, so don't everybody hold me to it. But I think he's the one that came up there toward the end, and he had actually found, I think it was a 2 real, and I mean it was like just beautiful, you know.
Yeah, he actually posted about it because that's the other thing too. Yes, at all events in the past, all events, there has been somebody who drops a little something out of their pocket into the dirt and then claims they found it.
Right.
But the things I've seen here, and the excitement of the individuals that I've seen that found these things, no, he didn't. He didn't plant that 2 real. Somebody killed.
No, I mean, I've seen people saying that, some of them were saying that they're the cut silver and all the other stuff, that it didn't come from there or it didn't come out of right there. I'm sure that some people put some fines that they found on permissions that they got, of course. I mean, but a lot of those things were found there because they told us what places they came out of, and stuff. So, I mean, and they're dated exactly to what some of the places were on the maps. So, I mean,
Let's see, Facebook and YouTube bragging gives us a sorted idea of what people will find whenever you go digging. They need to show the crap. I show the crap. Actually, there's not much gonna be digging in my video. This, when I put the Digstock one together, because like I said, I didn't really get out swinging a whole lot, and I mean, I think where me, Ken, and Mike and them ended up on Saturday was a pretty good area, where he had found the well.
All right. I've seen pictures of that. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a good area. Was there a ton of stuff? No. Yeah, there was a ton of trash, but we found these good signals in between. So that was a good area. That's a good spot right there. But I'm
Potential is
sad
there.
I didn't come across it till the last day. And that morning, Aqua Chigger, Gene Diggs History, myself, mainly dirt fishing, and his son Adam, we all spent like 2 hours because we went to the field off of Dolphin Road
Yeah.
to cut over to Dr. Mayo's.
Right.
Did you know we hiked all the way through those woods there?
I had some people asking about that and told them, that's I had to kind of go across from there and go into that area.
Well, I didn't, I was like, I don't know if we should chance parking on the main road next to the pig factory. We might
Right.
come out of the woods with no cars. So I was like, I think we'd be better parking in this last part of the last parking area you guys had made, and then cut through the woods.
Right.
And yeah. Yeah, so there went some of the morning. But you know what? It was an adventure. Gene Diggs History, myself, mainly fishing. Adam and Aqua Chicker wouldn't have had it.
Right.
That was actually an adventure because it was brambles and stickers, and it was just.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the things came up about magnet fishing because we said there was magnet fishing, and, yeah, I don't think, right offhand we didn't designate all these spots on the maps, but I mean, if there was a pond there, you can magnet fish. There was a bridge right off of the public dirt path road. There was a place there. There was a whole creek that ran in the back. We did say don't go in the water from the property. But that don't mean you can't throw something out, a magnet out there and pull it back up to you without getting in the water, But there was places there to do all that.
What, like on Etheridge Road?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Gene and I wanted to go back to that creek.
Yep.
Scott said one woman in his group found a shoe buckle that was found on Google Images. Well, they used Google Images, or probably Google Lens. It was from the 1780s.
There you go.
The age was there. Ray's Fines wants to know, or Ray Jones wants to know if you're going to be at Digstock 6.
At 6?
Yeah, that's a native artifact.
Oh, of course. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be right there with them this time. That's what I like about it.
I'm so tempted, but it's the same weekend as Come Out Swinging now.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who, there again, we don't promise anything, but there was stuff already, some stuff in that area already we know about. I know there's going to be some more stuff found. I feel pretty confident on that one. And there again, my mentor, my teacher who taught me about flint napping and reproducing Native American stuff is going to be there on site doing stuff. And I think people will be amazed just in seeing that demonstration and knowing how that stuff was made. It's to me, and of course I'm saying it because that's my passion. I really like that. But the price or the price included in just to seeing that is well worth it. Just to be able to get that and have that knowledge and know. It'll explain a lot and help people when they go out looking stuff, I believe, too.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, I couldn't even go to both days of Come Out Swinging anyway because I don't have Saturday off.
And that's this one's it's a no frills. It's nothing big. We'll probably have some canopies. It's only 2 days, that Saturday and that Sunday, but people will be able to get out, and of course you'll be able to still be able to detect. But you can walk. There'll be different ways that you can look for arrowheads and do stuff, or you can get down there and we'll dig in the pits and have a good old time.
Maybe I'll drive down for Sunday.
And he'll have some of his stuff there on display, probably for sale. And he'll probably, if he's like he usually does when I'm around with him, if people come up and say, "Hey, can you make me this point?" He may say, X amount of money. He'll make it on the spot right in front of you, which is pretty cool.
Talent, definitely a talent. Awesome.
That'd be cool.
I was reading the chat, see if there's anything else.
And he'll make a lot of it'll be out of the material that they would have been using too. So
What, down there in North Carolina?
yeah, it'll be the rhyolite and stuff like that.
Nice. I'm
Sweet.
jealous. Because you already know me. I'll drive 8 hours just to go somewhere for one day.
Yeah. Well, and for those people who want to see how they take something big and reduce that material down and the stages that it goes through, what we call stages of manufacturing, you will get to see that. And for those that like to vlog or video and have something, I guarantee you that'll be something people want to see.
Stop trying to tempt me to come down there and call out sick. Because I'm it's a leftover illness from Digstock 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I just want to get my energy back, so I'll be ready for that one because it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a couple weeks away or so.
Right.
Hey, Thomas,
Yes, sir.
one of the things I really liked about Digstock 3, besides it was my first event, was the opening of different fields, a second batch of fields
Right.
on a second day. So it's like a fresh start. It's like a reset button. If you missed out on opportunities the first day to hit a fresh field, you have another opportunity to hit another batch of fresh fields or go back to the previous fields. I thought that was an awesome way to do it because you're expanding the opportunities over the course of the days there. And I thought that was pretty darn awesome.
Right.
It was
Yeah, that was
fresh
the one.
start.
Yeah, that was the one we kind of spread it out through the whole week, and so we had, like, say maybe the first 2,000 acres were opened up for the first 2 days. Then there was kind of like a break. We originally had it planned for like a break in the middle there and give time people, and then open it back up. But we decided to go ahead and do it, and then included everything after that. So yeah, and you know, we may look at doing that again too. You know, some people like that, and then some people say, well, I can't do it because I couldn't get off, you know, through a week to do that. So, but you know, there again, that's what we're about. We're about different options and giving people different options for different things. So
Yeah, make everybody happy though. So just gotta
Right.
figure out what works for you guys too. So
Yeah.
I
Like
thought
I'm
that was
saying.
really cool to be able to open up a second batch of fields um, halfway through the week. So
Right.
it just opened up some other opportunities. Plus, people are finding stuff in the previous fields that people overlook. So it's like you have an opportunity to do either one. So
Yeah.
Right.
Get the best
I
of
really
both
like
worlds.
that myself. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
What
how
does it
I
say?
like it.
Any idea where the next dig stock after the next two will end up being?
Basically, Digstock 8.
Well, we got some ideas, but I don't want to say nothing yet.
I'm
'Cause-
still waiting for my bright yellow Digstock hoodie.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, we can get you one of them. We'll get you one of them vests that glow in the dark and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some things are on the table for where it's just deciding where we want to do it and, you know, choosing location and stuff. Because of course we picked the West Coast for the gold, you know, and we'd love to get something in the middle of the state. You know, even maybe go down Florida, you know, maybe Missouri, Arkansas, places like that, Tennessee. So, you know, we kind of want to spread it around and give people from all different areas, you know, an opportunity to be able to come too. So
Nice.
Yep.
North Carolina's
Good
easy
idea.
because we are here. So we tend to be able to find certain things, you know, that are here and local, and we can kind of, you know, do it on maybe a smaller scale. So
Well, you have a bird dog fee too. If someone finds some good property for you guys to have an event at, that's pretty impressive.
exactly. And we always put that out. If, you know, if somebody has something and, you know, it could be something that they would never maybe have access to, but if, you know, we can talk to somebody and we get a contract with them, then yeah, we'll do that.
That'd be awesome.
Want to find some of the knives. Yeah, I'll have a few of them there.
I don't know. I'm really tempted to go there. I mean, I like come out swinging too, but oh, I know it does, Scott. But if it makes you feel any better, damn near took that to get home because nobody in Virginia wanted to do above 30.
Right.
Oh my God, it took
Yeah.
It was because it was raining, and they're like all going 30 miles an hour in the road construction, but there's no road construction because it's Sunday and it's raining.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was a nasty day.
It was, and then it was dry here. And then I woke up Monday morning to rain or snow, actually. I think, or was that yesterday? Snow was yesterday.
I don't know how you say it. I probably say that different. Wisconsin is how I say it, but I probably got a jacked up country sound to it.
No, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't blame you. 18 hours. Yeah. It takes about that long for us to go up to Chazy.
Well, yeah, it does. Just about, yeah, because it's 6 hours for me, and it took me
Yeah.
7 hours to get to you, so that's 13 hours.
Yeah, Ray saying Louisiana. Yeah, that would be a good one too. There again, certain places too we look at. There again we got to start telling, just like the one in California coming up. Of course we got to tell everybody, look out for scorpions, look out for rattlesnakes. There's all those little things like that. Certain places, of course in Louisiana, watch out for the alligators.
Well, if I show up at any of them, you definitely got to make sure, because
Yeah.
if you remember Texas, we were just all traipsing around those rocks like there wasn't anything hiding in there that could like hurt us.
Right. Yep.
And then Matt climbing into it. Well, it looked deep in my thumbnail. It wasn't deep.
Nah.
Gene Diggs.
You're in dark holes looking for artifacts to see what happens.
Exactly.
Well, no, that was a coyote den.
Oh boy.
But yeah, me, Thomas, Gypsy, and Matt were just walking around these on the edge of a river, just walking around these rocks. What do you call them?
They were pretty much boulders and stuff that was in that water. I mean, but we were looking at arrowheads and found some, so that was pretty cool.
We're sticking our hands in the crevices, like there's no route there.
Traded an arrowhead to get the permission to go in to find arrowheads.
Oh.
Yeah, I did say you could talk, you could talk the shirt off a homeless man. Didn't happen right away. It took him a little while.
Yeah, I had to sweeten up the deal,
Yeah, then he came out and goes, "All right, we can go looking." Too bad it was late in the day though, but that was fun. That was probably one of my fonder memories. But Gene Diggs' history says she knows someone in South Carolina has big acreage.
Send us an email. Let me know. It's something we can always check into. That's another thing. When we're not having events, then we're out checking places. We're driving states, and things like that. We're always on the lookout. So
Charleston would be interesting.
Yeah, I can't suggest anywhere in New Jersey. We're getting crowded. Though it would be nice because there's a lot of Revolutionary War history here, but it's getting too many people here. All the farms are getting ate up by townhouses.
Same here.
Sucks. Hate it. They all need to stay over there in that concrete jungle. Leave our little bit of land here alone.
that's right.
But if you guys got any more, prefer at least 1,000 plus acreage. If you got any more, before we end this, any more questions? Any more suggestions?
Yeah, it's about time for my NyQuil.
But I do think that would be a good idea with the if you do another seated hunt, you rock, Tim. If you do another seated hunt, if you so like on the t-shirts and the hats, I think a little more hats than t-shirts, but if you have them, t-shirts one, which email for what? If you have the pennies, number one for t-shirts and number two, so 300 and 300. I know it'd take a while, but you got kids, you just make them write 2 on 300 pennies. And then the red table had what, 100 tokens?
Yeah, and see, before we did the colored, at one time we did number tokens. The only problem we had with those is that after every event, either somebody kept some of them, or they never found them, or they didn't turn them in. So let's just say that you got 1,000 out there, and let's say random ones come back, but out of those total, you only got 700 come back. Then we got to go back through every event, and you got to count and figure out which ones of those numbers are missing, and you got to make them all over again. Well, depending on what they're on, it can get expensive, or so that's why we went to colored this time to try something different. So there again, we're always trying to do something different and come up.
We could do it this way too, with them turning in their colored tokens. Like have them turn them in that night or whatever. Give them to the time. Saturday at 6. You have to have all your colored tokens in, and you get a raffle ticket with the numbers on it.
Yeah.
Then you take their side of the raffle ticket, or already take the numbers off. You know what I mean? Separate, keep this coupon.
Yeah.
Put the raffle tickets on the prizes, and just have a bucket of the keep this coupon, and they have 3 tokens. They got 3 of them.
Right. Well, like I said, we'll definitely be improving on that. We got some ideas already in the works for, what to do with that going forward and how to handle it, and there again, maybe, just open it up. Anybody can come in and maybe redeem something at a certain time. We had a lot of people come to us about Garrett's tokens, and some of the other ones because they were never there, and they were only there on that Sunday. We had a lot of that. We had to answer questions for them, and stuff like that. So
they were there Thursday and Sunday.
Yep.
Scott McQuarrie asks, can you ask Thomas if anyone did magnet fishing or that rock quarry thing for fossils at Digstock?
There were some people that looked around. Like I said, there was that quarry or the pit that was there and stuff like that. There have been fossils found up in the fields and stuff like that because that creek has fossils in it. That's why we told people not to actually go into the creek, from that property. There was some places around there that you could access and go in. I don't know. I saw some stuff that had shark's teeth in it. I don't know if they come off of the property or not for sure, or if somebody found somewhere else. I don't know. Magnet fishing wise, I don't know. I never heard anything about the people who found anything if they were magnet fishing. I know I had some people ask me about where to go, and I told them. But other than that, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I did see one person's story that he had a blast because his magnet got stuck to the side of the bridge, and another one is a professional climber and tried to get it off. So that was pretty funny.
Right.
Scott McClory said, if they sold hooded sweatshirts, we would have bought them. A ton of people said the same. Yeah,
and it's funny because we've done stuff like that. We got a bunch of hoodies, and then it winds up being 75 degrees. Then when you think it's going to be 75 degrees, you get short sleeve shirts, and then everybody needs hoodies. And so it's like we're backed up and have all this stock, especially if it's catered to, if it's a theme like a Digstock 5. And it's like nobody wants that, So that's why we did the thing as far as going onto the website. And there you go. You can go to the website, just buy a Digstock hoodie or whatever, and we can have it sent to you and do like that. So,
Gene Diggs History, the email to give you guys the person's name here in South Carolina.
You can just send it to Thomas at DigstockEvents.com.
Right there. Thomas at Digstock.
Events.com, yep. Or even go to the Digstock website where it's got contact us and send it there, either one.
There we go.
Okay, guys. Hey, I got to run. So,
is that Gary? Night, Gary.
All right, Gary. Have a good night,
buddy. We're gonna be cutting this down now anyway. I don't normally go this long, an hour and a half tops. But I think it's good
I've got
to
a couple issues I got to deal with.
All right, you have a good night. Thanks up, Gary. You rock,
yep.
dude.
Yep, thanks. Night all.
Night. I just wanted to, focus on trying to shine the positive light on the event that, in all honesty, 95% of it was positive.
Sure. I mean, like I said,
that's have a mishap. Nothing goes without a hitch. I saw Iron Maiden in concert and had excellent seats, and 20 minutes of it we couldn't hear anything because they didn't realize we couldn't.
Right.
Playing, and we heard nothing. They realized it, took another 20 minutes to fix it, and then we had sound again. That's a big production at Madison Square Garden, sold out.
Right.
So I'm not upset when things don't go exactly as planned because I do realize things happen.
Yep.
And then with you guys, this is a learning experience too. This is the fifth one, and it's the biggest one you've done.
Right.
And you're a man down, so there's that too. You know, and you pulled it off. Most people had a good time, and you do listen to. That's what they don't realize. You guys do listen to the constructive criticism. You take
Yep.
suggestions. It's the hate
Definitely.
stuff that's not worth it. And I wouldn't. You know, there's always going to be haters, man.
Yep.
So just don't let it get to you. Any of you guys, that they're just people that are never going to be happy.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said,
And
I mean, we own up to what it is. We make mistakes. We own up to it. And say, hey, we do the best we can to correct what we can, and then, like I said, moving forward, we just try to make it better every time. So.
And as long as you're not going to please everybody, but as long as you're pleasing more than 85% of the people, that's not bad, especially at that number. And like I said, the only thing I was truly disappointed. I mean, yeah, I wanted to find things, but I didn't. Like I said, that's my fault. I didn't give myself enough time. I also didn't swing over where the areas were producing at. That totally on me, not you guys.
Right.
But the thing I was disappointed with the behavior of people there, the behavior of people after, like even now. Here it is, like a few days later, and you guys are still on these different. Not you guys, but there's people still on other sites going, "Oh my God!" It was it's like, get over yourself. I saw some infantile behavior at those tables.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was a young boy up there trying to decide what he wanted. I mean, and people were up there just like pushing him into the table. It was just ridiculous. And the thing about it is, we did say to start a line. There, people didn't listen. I don't know. It's just we'll put it our way.
Yeah, I think there was 3 or 4 on the blue table. I think they could have 3 or 4. Half those people were out in the rain anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. What was kind of funny to me is that a lot of the people that are people that were worried about being up under the tent, not getting wet, they turn right around, and went out in the rain right after. So I mean, it's like
you
I
can't
don't
make
know.
everybody happy. But yeah, I mean, I can understand fully the disappointed people in the back of the line on the red table. By the time you get up, because yeah, there were people taking multiples of things, but I can't. We couldn't tell them no.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I saw it, and I was even saying stuff to people. It was like, and that's why I hollered over to Matt, say something to people, that they're doing this, and there again, it's just, I don't know that just the greed of it, or just
Yeah, it was just that. I mean, the one guy taking like 2 or 3 pinpointers and 2 or 3 knives. Yeah, you had 6 tokens. That didn't mean you had to take multiples of this. Like there wasn't a lot of choices on the red table, but there's still some people standing behind you.
right.
You needed 2 pinpointers.
Yeah, I know. Well, like I said, we'll correct it for the next time and do something completely different. That's for sure. So
Put them in compartments in boxes. Box 1, box 2, box 3. When they come up with their tokens, they pull 3 things out with numbers on them, and that's it.
Yep.
You get whatever you pull a 1. You get what is in 1's box. You pull 2 1s, you get 2. Then, so this way you're not crapping the person behind you, because that's not cool.
And we'll probably just reach out to the local biker gang and hire them come in for security or something.
Woodstock. What's that Woodstock?
I mean, I will say,
Exactly.
there was less at the red table, the L table, and the green table, so they weren't as shovey.
Right.
They tried to get a little closer, and no, you got to back up.
Yeah.
There's 2 of us here. You'll get through the line. Pushing somebody in front of you to get closer to the table ain't going to guarantee you're going to get what you want.
Right.
And I would have taken those vouchers in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, they were definitely worth that.
Oh, they were worth more than the pinpointers.
Oh, I know.
Like I told the one guy, I'm like, there's $1,000 voucher. There's only one. This voucher is worth $1,000. You got like 5 tokens. Take that voucher and take the camping voucher. Your trip's paid for except for your gas.
Right.
I mean, and they were like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, I don't even know what. Well, one of the states is North Carolina, and you're there right. You're here right now. Like,
Right.
they put on events wherever there's gold.
Yep. That's right.
So I would have, if I had the red tokens, I probably in the beginning to begin with would have grabbed one of those vouchers.
Yeah.
But
But
hey,
I'm
you
gonna
guys,
take me some. I'm gonna take me some medicine,
yeah,
and
I'm gonna let you go because this
I'm
is
gonna
the
get into
long.
bed. And no, I just figured I'd get up here, address a couple things or whatever, and let you know what our plans are and where we're going to go. So, like I said, we'll take everything and take all the suggestions and anything that anybody wants to send like that that's positive, and we'll take it and we'll take it all into consideration and use it, and we'll improve going forward.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I appreciate you jumping up here tonight and Dave and Matt being in the chat.
all
You guys did a good job, an awesome job. I mean, that was the first time you had that larger crowd.
right.
You did well for everything that went on there. What was in your control. Some things weren't. Another person's behavior is not in your control.
Like
Um,
I said, we appreciate everybody who came out. We appreciate all the people that continue to come to our events over and over again, and of course all the new people that come. But like I said, all the support, the people who understand, what goes on and things like that, there again, we appreciate everybody. So
hey, Lucky Duck Digger, he said it was a great time. Like I said, you guys know you can always reach out to me if you need help at something. But
yeah,
I enjoyed myself. I had a great time. I had a great time at check-in, believe it or not, especially after Matt brought me that drink. I don't think Daryl wanted to hear her for a while. And and
I got some video.
I don't have that on video. Unless you got video of it.
I may
I
have.
appreciate each of you popping in the chat tonight. I Gene Diggs says, well, everybody's basically saying feel better.
thank you.
I appreciate each of you guys in the chat tonight. The new ones that came in, just out of curiosity or had questions. I appreciate you guys. And if you could flood any hunt you've been to, there's always going to be boohooers. So if you see it posted anywhere, negative comments, you know that we're more likely on the person commenting rather than on the event organizers themselves. Please flood it with positivity. If you have suggestions, make sure when you put the suggestions out there that they're in a positive, constructive way. Because when you have a bombardment of hatred coming at you, even sometimes suggestions come off as that too. So just kind of just check yourself on how you're saying something. And you guys have a great day or a great night.
Yeah.
Unless you're 3 hours behind, then it's kind of evening. Thank
But y'all
you.
thank you, Rachel. Appreciate it, Ken. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Thomas.
Okay.
Feel better. Reach out to me
Yeah,
anytime you
Rachel.
want.
All right.
You
See y'all
guys
later.
Good night. And thank you, Ken, for popping up.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Anytime you want to come up on my stream, you're more than welcome. Just send me a message. I'll send you the link every Wednesday night at 7:30.
I'll be
You
sure to
just
do
want
my
to come up
hair
and
first.
shoot it. Yeah, well, I didn't. I didn't even watch it yet. I was laying there going, I gotta get ready to stream. But thank you guys for joining in. It really means, it did bother me because everybody, hey, Shane. Shane said whispering Ken. It did bother me to see the amount of negativity, and a lot of the negativity really was on the person, not so much on the event. I didn't find nothing. When I got to the table, there was nothing left. I'm sorry you were disappointed. But when
There
you
are
go
people
to
finding
event,
things in the parking lot. In the parking lot, they're finding things. Just swinging their belly stick in the parking lot. Around the tents, they're finding things.
I always go hoping for the best, expecting the worst. So I'm hoping to find great things, expecting to find nothing, and I'm never disappointed. And the one thing I look forward to is the people that I'm surrounded by. I mean, in your everyday life, how many people play in the dirt beside yourself?
And like it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, exactly, LL. That's what it really should be down to. It's an organized social event that you get to play in dirt. And have a good time. And you can spend a lot
I'm gonna tap
more
out.
money doing a lot less. So, what's that?
I'm gonna tap out. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't mean
You have a good night. It's 7. It's 9:30.
night,
2 hours.
everybody.
Good night, Jeff. So, I mean, Ken. Jeff is in the chat. Shane, Peachy Prospector, LL, Gene Diggs History, Nailed It Detecting, Ohio Metal Maven, Lucky Duck Digger, Patty Disharoom, Peachy Prospector. I think I already said you. Chad Rubido, Effects on the Ground, Flash. All of you guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. I know some of you didn't say hi out loud. Please keep the positivity out there. There's enough negativity coming from others. I did get out because I was looking at Jeff's name. Sorry about that. You know I love you. So thank you again for joining in on the chat. I will see you guys Saturday night at the Cove, and I will see you again next Wednesday night, same time, not as late. For all those you come dropped in, normally this goes by whatever we're to talk about in the chat. I just saw a lot of negativity, and I just wanted to kind of bring that attention and get some things out there. You know what I mean? So spread the positivity. If you see things that could be done differently in any hunt you go to, always approach them in a positive manner, and make sure you know I noticed, and stuff like that, or I was disappointed because, and they will take it in a positive manner. Every organization is open to suggestions to help them run things smoother. And if any of you are attending an event and you want to volunteer, trust me when I say these guys would be more than grateful for your help. And if you're out in the field at any organized event, whether it's Digstock or anything else, and you see somebody not following the good code of ethics that we have, Reaper, how's it going? It's okay to say something, because those people will ruin it for the rest of us if it's not called to attention. All right? So thank you again. Peace, everybody. And be kind to each other. And I got to find my mouse. There it is. So be kind to each other. BC Trails, thanks for joining in. I am signing out. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.